I mean, word of mouth a little bit. Okay, we are live.
We're live. We're just practicing being consistent, you and I. It doesn't matter if anybody watches it. We are
I
consistent.
mean, it's a muscle, to be able to chat about, whatever for whatever, about
I,
whatever.
I do want to bring up like what happens when you believe in Jesus and you're there for Jesus and he doesn't show up.
I don't know.
I was just thought it was funny because last week you forgot about me.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I was exhausted last
I
week.
know you were, but it was
I
like we
forgot it was Thursday.
and I was
Yeah.
laughing. I was like, "What happens when Jesus doesn't show up?"
I forgot it was Thursday, and I felt like a horse's patoot because I didn't sleep well the night before. I had a headache, and then I was when I realized what time it was, or you texted me, I was in the middle of cooking dinner. So I had like steaks
Believe
on the
me,
grill, and yeah.
I
So it
was
wasn't like I could
highly
drop everything. And
I was highly distracted. I was
oh,
completely fine.
okay.
I
Well,
was
we're
like,
here now, and we're live, and we may have a special guest joining us or not. I don't know. She said she
you,
was going to join, so we'll see.
you never know what's gonna happen.
No, you
Uh,
don't.
like, guess what I did?
You swam in the ocean.
I swam in the ocean. That's when my hair was wet. My swimming in the ocean is spectacular. But I was shooting videos, and I dropped the phone on my face. Gave myself a black eye.
You're so clumsy.
Ah, you know, or just funny. I don't know. It's like, oh, you never know what's gonna happen.
She's clumsy.
Things are going so well. You're doing so many great videos. It's working. You got all this,
It,
and poop.
if it makes you feel any better, somebody was like, "Do you have a black eye?" And I was like, "I hope not." And then it was a freckle. I was like, "Racist."
The freckle. My kid is so freaking hilarious. So I just drove across the country. I literally just drove across the United States of America.
I know. How many miles did you do per day?
Mm, 600 to 900.
That's a lot.
That's
In
a
a
lot.
Fiat too. I
In a
mean,
Fiat.
you're
It's as
lucky you made it.
it's literally as big as a shoe.
Yeah, kind of looks like a shoe.
It's a little teeny shoe. It was awesome. I
Yeah.
drove it across the country with my kid, and it was really really fun. 2 days were big. Like yesterday, I drove from Albuquerque to San Diego.
San Diego. I
Yep.
like Albuquerque, and then when I say that to people, people are like, Albuquerque's a shithole. And I'm like, I don't know. I mean, I was there for like a night or 2 nights, and they had good live music. There was people that were friendly. I was like, that seemed all right to me. But I guess, maybe if you live there, it's not as cool.
My kid is not doing the desert at all. I'm so proud. I'm so proud of her because her
Y-
favorite state out of all of them that we went through, Virginia.
Really?
I was like, "You're a good girl."
Huh.
She's like, "I don't
I
like California stuff. I don't know how people could live like this."
Oh, I mean, California has some of the most beautiful land, but the
Yeah,
cities don't stop. And it's just so suburban everywhere. It's like
very suburban.
nothing's worse than a suburb. I don't care what anybody says. The country's cool, cities are cool, suburbs suck. Too much traffic, it takes forever to get everywhere. There's no community, you can't walk anywhere. I mean, I'm anti-suburb.
My favorite. We're going to dinner tonight in Encinitas. That's a one. That's a little beach town that you can walk places. That's really nice.
Yeah,
The
see,
movie
places like that are great, but your endless suburb
all
and
around.
all around, I mean, I'm sure I know there's nooks in California that are fantastic that it just costs like half a billion to live there.
Oh my god. Oh, as soon as I got into California, the gas is 5.50, and it was like two. It was like high twos and then like low threes the whole ride. It was actually like, oh, cost about $26 to fill up the tank. Hit California, cost 50 big ones.
And
Fill up.
people say socialism doesn't work.
I'm like, California doesn't like cars.
No. You got to get an electric or you're a peasant in California. But when you do the math, the crazy thing is, and I whenever I've said this to people before, they're like, "What? They
No,
can't do it." I'm like, the cost for a Toyota Prius for to offset the carbon that it takes to make a Toyota Prius, you have to keep it for 11 years.
stop talking. I'm gonna start yelling.
Right. So you know how long it must be for a Tesla? It's got to be 20 plus years to offset that carbon because they're digging holes in the earth with diesel to mine that stuff
Really
and then all the
funny.
processing of the batteries. Oh my God. I mean, it's got to be 20 years for a Tesla.
They're
So,
everywhere.
and nobody will those won't drive for 20 years, not without battery replacements. I mean, maybe some of them will, but not most of them. It's like a 10-year,
But it's good
batteries are,
for the environment. Let's not talk about the lithium stuff.
yeah, and the children mining the cobalt.
Oh,
Yeah. Any rate, so it's just funny. I mean, it's funny that it's true that me driving 1968 cars is better for the environment than a tree
yeah.
hugger driving a Tesla or a Prius. And
You can't
the other
explain to them though, because they'll start yelling at you.
the other thing is you lose 50% of electricity in transmission. So that means that you have to make double the electricity that you're charging your car with to charge your car with it. It is way more efficient to have a diesel generator on your property and make the electric with the diesel than it is to send the electric, half a state away. Like a lot of electric for Nashville comes from the Knoxville area.
Really?
It's a 3-hour drive. Yeah.
You said diesel. I get my pupils start dilating.
Yeah, I know you do.
All about it.
Diesel, diesel, diesel.
No, like 7 3 diesel, 6 7 diesel. I'm all in.
Yeah, avoid the 6 4s and the 6 0s.
It just makes more sense. And also like when the grid goes down, or if it goes down, God willing it doesn't, when they're done, like when they cut out oil, that am I right? The easiest one to come back online will be diesel. 'Cause it's the
Yeah,
easiest.
diesel can run on cow fat. It can run on um, vegetable fat, like canola. You can run it on old fry oil from like fast
They
food
have to like
restaurants.
my old house in LA, there was the garage down the street. They did that with old Mercedes Benz. They would
Yeah,
do whatever, they convert them, or if they whatever. And then they have a little station where you can fill it. They go around and collect all the oil,
yeah.
like the leftover. That makes sense.
Yeah, it's called biodiesel. So, yeah, I mean, yeah, biodiesel will certainly, yeah, some of those old Benzes especially, I mean, they're designed to go 500,000 miles without any big maintenance. Some of those old diesel Benzes, that's why they're still on the road and in demand. Yeah, absolutely. And then, anything that's a big computer, any water gets in there, the computer's fried, you know,
Also, the computer can be shut down, can't it?
EMP,
What's that?
electromagnetic pulse. There are electrical magnetic pulse generators, also solar flares can generate an EMP, and nuclear warfare can generate an EMP. So, when an EMP hits unshielded electronics, it fries the electronics.
So you can have all these people in all the cities that have no way to move.
That's right.
Ooh.
Yeah. Well, I mean, a lot of people have old cars. I mean, and who knows, like even something simple, you know, that has simple computers, they could break down too. But my 1968 doesn't have a computer. So,
Which one? Are all your cars like 1960s and 70s?
I've got yeah, I've got 268s, a 1980, a 1984. And I
Smart
have
man.
two 2009s. I have a 98. Yeah.
Smart man. So
The 98 has a computer. The '09s have a computer. One of the '09s though is about as basic as it gets. Both of the '09s are about as basic as it can get. They
so
probably have one computer. So maybe it's
Maybe.
shielded and it might make it through. And then the other thing too is like on a lot of the modern cars, they might still start and run, but not everything would work or something along those lines. Because they have so many computers in some of these modern cars.
I travel a lot and I see the newer cars pulled over on the side of the road.
Yeah, I mean, we reached peak car, in my opinion, in the late 90s, early 2000s. That's when they were kind of the most reliable in that zone. And then, being in the car industry, starting to mess with the new stuff, with the electric water pumps or the electric steering, and it's just not as robust as the old hydraulic mechanical stuff.
No,
It's flimsier.
I cannot stand it when the cars tell you all what to do. It
Yeah.
drives me nuts. I went off on a car once. I had a little rental, like it tells you, oh, you're getting too close. You're getting,
Yeah.
and I went, shut the hell up. I'm going to run over you with a diesel.
Yeah, and then the other thing is a lot of these cars are your data is being mined. Because they're smart cars, they're connected to the grid, and it'll tell you when you need to change your oil. It'll tell you when a tire's low via email. I mean, it'll tell you need to bring it in for service now. It's just
It's also listening to you.
it'll also some of them they don't come with full power. You can through your online portal pay like $30 or $100 a month, whatever it is, to make more power. Yeah, Mercedes is doing that.
Literally, like, oh my God.
So crazy.
Yeah, I know we're talking about cars and you're a car dealer, but like, and I got to know you originally with the healing and healing my brain. Thank you.
Hmm.
And I will say that I think you've noticed a big difference in me since I've known you.
Yeah.
Like my calmness and my overwhelm, my stress is lower. And I got to tell you, like I travel with my Regenerate. I'm not traveling with loot.
Hmm.
I wish I had a bottle with me, son. But but what a humongous. You can hear me?
Now I can. I couldn't for a second.
Oh, okay. What a humongous difference it is having your brain on right. And I've noticed that when I'm okay, my brain's on right. I don't have any element of complex PTSD anymore. I'm actually, instead of this urgent overwhelm, I've labeled it urgently calm. Wait, hold on, my
Okay.
child's talking to me. What, baby? I am on a podcast live. What you want? You got English Christmas cookies?
No, you haven't.
We gotta tell you something. It's really funny. You wanna go in there?
English Christmas cookies.
Okay, so we're ready because we're packing for our plane trip tomorrow, and I just for fun was looking up to see what we can't bring on the plane and what I need to put on in the carry-on. And it's like, you not got to put it lighter. You got to put it in your checked bags, not your carry-on. Remember, I was going through the list with her.
Because that one guy tried to light his shoes on fire. Remember,
So-
like 20 years ago, he tried to light his shoes on fire.
No, I don't remember that.
Yeah,
But
that's
it goes over like you can bring a rifle, but you got to check it. You can bring a fishing pole, but either check it or on the plane. But then it got to English Christmas cookies. You can't don't you think about it. You cannot bring them on the plane. You cannot check a bag. You cannot travel with English Christmas cookies. We have been laughing about it all day.
What the hell they put in those Christmas cookies?
Oh, damn me. So it's like you can bring a pizza, you can bring pies, you cannot bring English Christmas cookies.
Is that because there's booze in it?
Don't you do it?
Is there booze in English Christmas
I
cookies?
looked it up. I was like, what? No, you can bring booze.
Oh,
And
yeah.
you can bring baby formula and baby juice, but the requirements and the rules for baby formula, baby juice, and breast milk are like this long. And then it comes to English Christmas cookies. No, and no.
Okay.
And I looked them up, and they look like firecrackers. I think it's like a little. It's like they're in, and then they have a little tie and tie. So I think it just looks like a firecracker. But I mean,
Got it.
literally, but there's absolutely no way. And so Aurelia has been having me act it out like I'm in line. I have a raffle. All right, you go. I got ammo. You can go, but you got English English
Yeah.
Christmas cookies. You can. And
Yeah.
then she goes like this. Did you
Right.
say English Christmas cookies?
When y'all are in line, just start talking about English Christmas cookies.
Just see
I
what
can't wait to eat those English Christmas cookies once we're on the plane. I'm
So
about to eat the English Christmas cookies.
Do you have it? I love me some English Christmas cookies. It's so funny. So she's
Who
sweet.
doesn't love English Christmas cookies?
mean
Is
it.
that code for something though? I don't know. I better not say that.
Exactly.
Somebody will cut just a clip of this out and it'll say, I love English Christmas cookies.
Yeah, so she was like acting it up. And she's like,
Yeah.
what'd you say? I was like, I just some old lady. I have some English Christmas cookies. And she said, did you say English?
Yeah.
Where'd you get them? I got them in London.
Yeah. Step out of line, ma'am.
I exactly step out of line, man. She's like, I'm calling the boss. Bring in the dog.
Bring in the dogs.
Look at she's like, and then she goes with my favorite. She goes,
Yeah, you got to get the shoulders loose before you swing.
shoulders loose. We're gonna take out. It's funny. But the most hilarious things is like you can bring all kind. You can bring like the craziest stuff on the plane.
What about a bow and arrow?
You can bring a bow and arrow. You can't bring it on the plane. You have to check it.
Okay.
What?
Oh, that's good.
Oh, you can bring a meat cleaver. You can bring a meat cleaver. Don't you bring English Christmas cookies?
In checked baggage, you can bring a meat cleaver?
Yep, check. No, yeah, checked bags underneath the plane.
Oh, darn, not carry on.
And you also cannot bring a curling iron. Don't you
Oh,
bring
yeah, that's a weapon.
So
You know,
funny.
you can heat somebody up with that.
So I'm gonna do a comedy skit of just go through all the list. It was really funny. We were having a good old time laughing. She's a hoot. This child of mine, this 10-year-old going on 25.
People. So what? So we were expecting Liz to come on, but no Liz as of yet. So, I mean, you want me to do headlines? What was there? You said you had something you wanted to chat about.
Well, I listened to the Elon and Trump interview. Did you listen to it?
Almost all of it. I was in motion when I was listening to it. I was at the grocery store doing some errands. So it cut in and out a few times, but I believe I got most of it. Definitely got the gist of it. I mean, for sure, if Trump commits to Elon being on some of those regulation committees and the deregulation committees, I mean, that's what we need. Instead of somebody who's been winning popularity contests since they were children, get an engineer in there, you know?
Yeah,
Get an
right.
engineer who's actually done something and built something to get, because we can't compete with China and with other. What's going on?
I don't know. She's just standing here. I'm like, what?
Oh,
What you need, girl? We got to go at 6:30. Go get ready.
so
I love you. Get
so
on live. What you need? Whatever you like.
so I forget what I was saying, but yeah, there's too many regulations. You know,
You know what I love though? Here, just cutting the Department of Education. Just, I was
Yeah.
like, because it's so corrupt, and there's so much corruption in there. Just like snip them off, snip their balls
get
off.
rid of it. Get rid of everything that has a that has three letters on it. FBI, CIA,
That would be amazing.
IRS.
That's why.
Anything that's a three-letter agency, get rid of all of them.
And I love like my friends who just are their feelings get hurt by him, and it's like he hurts my feelings. He's gonna grab a woman or he sleeps. It's like, oh my God in heaven. I was like, listen,
You know that it's bullshit because the only person they could find to actually go on TV and talk about it was that E. Jean Carroll, who looks like a total lunatic. Remember that E. Jean Carroll lady that came out and it was like 25 years ago I was
I just can't.
assaulted by Trump, and it's like,
Oh, blah 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 blah. I found you all. Yeah, Jean's on here. Jean,
Oh,
Jean,
not E. Jean Carroll though. I
not
was
E,
like,
not EG, EG,
what?
Jean.
E.
What
Jean
the
Carroll's here.
I
Yeah.
have no comment. I'm like, there's no comparison. I literally do not logically, we're talking logic, not feelings, do not see the difference between the two of us. I'm like, no. I'm like,
Between
there's
who?
between Trump and the other one. I'm like, I just don't see
Who's the other one?
the Kamala.
You don't see the difference?
I don't see that I don't see the argument for her at all.
Oh, well,
I
she's
don't
got that laugh that's just infectious.
I don't care. I also don't care about her laugh. I care about who's talking to Putin, who's
Well,
talking to
but
Kim Jong-un,
she'll
who's
be the first Indian black American woman.
what's that got to do with anything? You
Well,
outsourcing everything now to India.
okay, well, if you don't like that, I mean, her VP put tampons in the men's rooms.
I'm like literally, we're heading into a war. Who the hell who has the biggest stick? That's why I'm like, I don't understand the argument. I was like, you want a woman, you're not pro women. I was like, that's not an argument. I just don't understand. I really don't understand. So I'm like, I can't even. I watch my friends and I see them literally go blue in the face, like crazy anti, and I'm like, you're at war, like World War III. Who has the bigger stick?
Yeah. Well, and the other thing is, who is going to keep us out of war?
Yeah,
So,
for
so it's like, I've never been like an enormous Trump fan. I'm not like, I don't believe that he's the second coming of Jesus,
I
like
don't
some
either, but
people believe. But he didn't start any wars. He was the first president to not start any wars. Every president starts a war somewhere because they have all the people that want them to start a war for profit somewhere, or some business has some interest in some foreign land, and so we send
right.
troops in. So there's that. Also, gas was under $2 a gallon, and people are so obtuse. They don't understand. Everything rides on gas and diesel. If you want to know where inflation's coming from, well, some of it's monetary policy, but a huge amount of it is the price of fuel. Look how many trucks are on the road. If you lower that price of fuel, everything gets cheaper. Everything. And it is absolutely ridiculous. We're like the second biggest oil producer in the world, if I recall correctly, second or third, but we have the most untapped oil.
Oh, you mean
And
like Alaska?
right, like well, also offshore because we're so huge. The country's so huge. We have all of that coastline too.
And then
And
say don't do that because environmental issues, and it's like, yeah,
well, yeah, but do put in windmills, which have been proven to kill whales and all kinds of wildlife, and they don't even last, and they don't generate that much electricity.
how are the windmills killing whales?
Something to do with the installation of them is
Really?
like blows out their ears, makes it so they can't navigate anymore. So then they just like die.
Because they're just, oh my God, what?
Yeah, it's really sad. Like off
Great
the
bird.
coast of off the Northeast where they're putting in all those windmills, there's just like whale die off is enormous.
What? Things
Yeah,
you don't see on TV. Hey, Gene.
right. So it's pretty wild. And then the other thing is, the core the bottom line of it is that people are like, yeah, the environment. Look, everybody wants a nice environment to live in, but they're lying about this green stuff because the more CO2 you have in the atmosphere, the more that plants grow. The more that plants grow, the more that all other beings have to eat. It's that simple. We want more air in the atmosphere, not less air in the atmosphere.
So they're poisoning the air with their little chemtrails. I love that too. Like, there's no
Well,
such thing as chemtrail.
right. Yeah. And there's
Like,
11 new types of clouds that just debuted in the past few years. Sure.
okay.
But the thing is that people need to really understand is that we're there's a fine line when CO2 levels drop below a certain point, nothing grows. And we are not high above that threshold. So we need the CO2 in the air. Now, that doesn't mean that we need like heavy metals and other things, sure, like if you're burning coal, like make sure you do everything to make sure it burns as clean as possible, right? Whatever it is, some, keep the noxious chemicals out of the air, but CO2 is not a problem. Also, if you're a human and your CO2 levels go too low, you pass out. We need CO2 in our bloodstream as we need oxygen. So
We
if
don't
you
know.
over oxygenate and your CO2 levels go too low, you pass out.
And of course, we don't learn all this stuff because what we're learning is all also propaganda.
Well, yeah,
That's
it's all stuff that's designed to keep us dumb, to keep us in fear, because when you're in fear, you're in a sympathetic dominant state and you do not have access to the depth of consciousness. And I know that sounds woo woo,
what.
but it's like having it's like using your pocket calculator instead of your supercomputer. That's the difference. Because it's really hard to think when you're in a state of panic.
100%. And I have noticed it in my life. And Gene says we have windmills here in Texas, but we don't have whales. I drove through those windmills, by the way. But
I think whales stay out of the Gulf. I mean, or maybe they're more in the ocean than the Gulf.
That's so terrible to hear. But I noticed a huge difference, as I was saying, like giving you kudos and thank you for your product, Regenerate, the one in
Yeah.
Nashville.com.
It's
And
pretty
you
cool.
can
Seeing it
and
help people
my
is great.
on my link in my bio too, because I put it there because I'm like, please y'all get your brain on right. Like, because I was in total complex PTSD from my own, life, and then dealing with the system, and then all my experience with Hollywood, and then Nashville, and like all kinds of like just stress.
Yeah.
And it's not like well, actually, what's so funny is I got my brain on right and just in the calm and got my I guess living more in my parasympathetic nervous system.
Hmm.
And the stress really did go away. It's like it doesn't mean there aren't stresses in life. I just started completely reacting to them differently, and it actually shifted all of them. It was like, what you feel is what you bring into your life.
Mm.
And I can't stress that enough. Like, especially the women, I see it more with the women than the men, that the women tend to be more in complex PTSD than the fellas. The fellas are just, that I talk to, are just maddeningly depressed about the state of the women.
Yeah, it's a bummer.
Because
It
I
really
talked to like one man after another man after another man. Because I'm like an open book for the fellas to like, come here, I'll help you, and because I'll listen to you, and they'll tell me all about their relationships, right? And from the older dudes who've been married for umpteenth million years, that they're going on 20s, and they haven't had sex in like 2 or 3 years, and their wife is horrible. Like, and I've actually witnessed it my own self, like seeing how the women treat their fellas. It's like actually deplorable, to be honest. Like, just mean, just straight up like mean. You wouldn't even want that as a friend, let alone a wife. I was like, damn.
Yeah.
Damn.
It's
And so I get it, the whole conversation, like men are bad, men are toxic, and the numbers of domestic violence are going up, and men are bad. And I'm like, y'all.
well, don't forget, in every sitcom, not every, but the majority of sitcoms, the majority of movies, they always portray the man as like the oaf that the woman has to like help do basic things. And it's like it's that's cultural programming right there. And if you
Mhm.
look at the cultural programming that we've had for so many years, it's really appalling, scary. And then, people just pantomime what they've seen, especially people in stress. So I mean, there's a whole Sex in the City generation. There's a whole Kardashians generation. And
Yeah, there's these like gossip.
neither of those groups of women are the ones that, I mean, look, fun is fun. I understand, right? I'm not saying anyone shouldn't have fun. I'm just saying you have dopamigenic rewards, which are rewards in the moment, and then you have serotonin rewards, which are rewards over time. And, you constantly chase that dopamine. You got to get more of it to get the same effect. And there's no settle in that, you know? So it's, you're not settled. It's constantly chasing a high, going after dopamine. But yes, it's the Sex and the City generation, followed by the Kardashian generation. And then, you ever see those videos that go around Instagram where they interview women on the street and they're like, what's your requirements for a man? And then they're like, well, he's got to be over 6 feet tall. He's got to make at least $500,000 a year. And, whatever, and it's like, okay, so we've done the calculations here. You're looking for 0.02% of the male population fits those levels. You know what I mean?
Good luck.
Right. So then it's like if they find someone that they like and enjoy being around, but it doesn't fit their criteria, they're not going to take that guy seriously. They're going to use them, and then that guy has a bad experience, right? And then, or at any rate, a lot of stuff. I mean, I've seen some of those videos that have been passed around on X. That's truly shocking. Truly shocking.
Well, the women, I know.
Just their basic criteria, and it's like, it's just, and then the same women will probably say, well, the pay gap, the gender pay gap is huge.
It's
mean-
like, what are you doing? What are you doing in your life? I saw.
Well, yeah, look at how many men die per year on the job and how many women die per year on the job. Look at that discrepancy. There's your wage gap right
and
there.
really hard work too.
Yeah. You know who builds the roads?
Yeah, fellas.
You
Yeah.
know who builds the towers? You know who
Mhm.
brings the electricity? You know who brings the water to and from?
Women like always complain, like, you catcalled me, those construction workers. I'm the opposite.
Yeah.
As soon as I see yellow or orange, I'm like, hey. Y'all
Yeah.
know?
I mean, yeah, be nice to your utility workers, come
Yeah,
on.
hey, exactly.
They're doing a hard job. Yeah, I don't do that type of work, but it's still like, I'm glad there's, men doing it. Oh my God.
And Jean says she wants to be a regenerate. She wants to sell it. Jean, we'll get you a affiliate link. And she said she was down this morning and drank some Regenerate later with her coffee and milk. Get off the coffee. And she felt a lot better. I like to put it in green tea or coffee. Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it would certainly be good because it'll blunt the cortisol blast from coffee. So it would certainly help. I have never tested it, so I don't recommend putting it in a hot liquid. I would just be afraid that there's 18 ingredients in it. I would just be afraid that some of them might deactivate in hot.
I like
but if it's working for you, then it's working for you. I mean,
Yeah,
using it is better than not using it. So keep putting it in your coffee. Just
True.
know that I don't recommend it because of the heat. I would just be afraid that one of the 18 might degrade it.
I like Jean. I like to put it in sodas, not like Coca-Cola sodas, but like a flavored club soda. Anything Fever Tree, I love it. Or those like magnesium sodas. Anything that's like bubbly and that has a flavor. If you put Regenerate in it, it makes it froth, and I think it tastes like a one of those sour beers. That's good. And then I sip it throughout the day. I put it in one of those big things and like sip it, and then it can give you the heat / the mind clarity for like hours and hours. Plus, when you take Regenerate, it really lasts a long time.
It does. I mean, I'm, over 200 pounds, and if I do 1 teaspoon, it's in the morning, like let's say 8 in the morning, I feel like it lasts at least till 5 p.m.
Yeah,
But
100%.
I mean,
That's what.
I mean, it depends a little bit on the day, but I would say at least 5 p.m.
And I used to. Gene says it might be good over ice cream. That's really funny.
A
Yeah, you
little
know what?
sweet, bitter mix. Yeah.
You try it.
However you get it down, just get it down.
She puts it in cold coffee and cold tea.
Oh yeah. So I
Like,
see no problem with that. Other than caffeine, but with people that are adjusted to caffeine, they're not even getting buzzed or lifted on it. It's just to stay even when you're a daily caffeine drinker.
I have begun to back off of the coffee. I got that like Beyond Brew thing where it's all mushrooms and cordyceps, and it's not coffee at all. Because
Yeah.
for a while I was doing the one that was mushroom and coffee.
Right. Mushroom coffee, and the first ingredient is coffee. It's like, no, no, no. That's coffee and mushrooms, not
Mushrooms,
mushroom coffee. Right.
exactly.
Yeah,
Now I
whatever.
found one that's Beyond Brew that it
Mhm.
tastes like hot chocolate.
Oh, yeah, cool.
I like the taste of coffee, so I'm like, so I'm weaning myself off of it.
That's the thing. Nothing tastes like coffee other than coffee, so that's why they put coffee in that stuff. But
So
yeah.
I'm weaning myself off. I've been doing it, and I'm also doing the cleanses like the lion's mane,
I like
thyroid,
I like cordyceps, but
cordyceps.
I typically cordyceps is body energy, lion's mane is mind energy. I don't need extra mind energy. I need extra body energy. So I go for the cordyceps. I really think for me, cordyceps gives me more energy than lion's mane.
Well, I think that especially the women need the mind clarity because, and I don't mean to be ragging on my ladies because I love me some ladies, but I've just noticed because I'm a observer of humans and I travel a lot and I know, people on all sides from the penthouse to the porta potty, and I'm just noticing, I'm observing that the women over 40 are calmer and more stable, more able to think than the women in their 20s and 30s who tend to be
Yeah.
just I mean, I hate to say it, but they're like a hot mess.
Well,
But
if you
they
were,
know it. You know what I mean? You can't teach them anything because they already know everything.
yeah, and now there's 1986, a law was passed that indemnifies pharmaceutical companies from any malice for vaccinations. I'm sorry for, I don't know if that's a legal word to say,
You can't say
for
that. This is a joke.
any experimental gene therapies or anything that comes in a syringe that is given to children many times. So pre 86, I want to say it was 6 injections. Post 86, if you get all of the boosters, it's 82 now. Yeah.
Whoa.
So if you go to the doctor and you do everything the doctor says after 86, and I'm not like, I'm just saying there was a Mendoza line 86, then bang, but since 86, it's ballooned from 6 or 7 injections to 82.
Jesus Christ.
So if you want to know why people's melons are cooked, look directly at your local doctor and
Yep.
then ask him the simple question, what is in these? And if he starts scatting, if he doesn't
No.
uh, if he doesn't know, then it's time. Then don't trust him. So Liz just joined. So let's bring in Liz. Then you want to introduce Liz because I'm not sure exactly how to introduce Liz.
She's got to introduce herself.
Okay, all right.
Liz.
So here comes Liz.
All
Hey
right.
Liz.
Liz.
I'm in the worst lighting possible. Let me
I'm in a hotel.
I know it's like, look at me. I'm in a very sterile hotel. And it was funny because Sean's like, I'll send you a link around, 7:15 and we'll chat. And it was like, I don't know, 5:30. I was like, ooh, I'll close my eyes for 5 minutes. This will be great.
Then you fell asleep.
I've done that before.
Yeah. I was
It was
like,
a hot day today too.
right, exactly. So let me see. Angela and I think, have known each other around 10 years, but haven't really talked to each other for 5 between like momming and all of that stuff. We're both former models, both had been assaulted. Like we had a lot in common, like just, and I don't even know if it was like maybe Angela Rose who introduced
Angela
me.
Rose and
It had-
Claire Kaplan.
Angela Rose is like the ground zero of like assault survivors. She is like, we know each other, it's usually through her. And what's so funny about Angela Rose is I don't think I've ever seen her in a bad mood, like ever. Like she's the happiest, most giving, like, and has 2 tiny children and a husband. And she will take time out at 3 a.m. She goes, "No, I'm going to need you to breathe, and we're going to do this exercise together." And I'm like, "What?" Anyway, so I'm in Nashville. I normally live in Los Angeles. I live in Santa Monica, which I think is new. I lived in Southampton when we knew each other. I lived in the Hamptons when you and I knew each other. So I moved to the other side. Literally, there was Montauk.
I did the other way. I
and
went
it's
east.
like Route 66 and the like Ferris wheel on the other end.
What?
And so the kiddos are now. Ava lives in Philadelphia and is a consultant. Who knows what that is?
Yeah.
And my son Leo is like king of. He goes to Santa Monica Malibu High School, like where like Sean Penn went, and is just a typical surf rat, and
But wait, hold on. Introduce yourself to the people that are watching.
I am an enigmatic songwriter. I found out like 6 years ago that my father was Greg Allman. Nuts. Thank you, DNA. Like I knew my father was a musician and my mom was a groupie, but like I didn't know the extent of it. I didn't know it was like Almost Famous type thing, because Cameron Crowe based Almost Famous on his time with the Allman Brothers.
That's awesome.
That's that Golden God scene. That was Dwayne Allman jumping off the roof of the kid's house. That actually happened. So what was weird was about 8 years ago, I was a party planner, like a celebrity party planner for 20 years. About 8 years ago, I started writing songs, but like ghostwriting and selling them to artists who I guess I can't say because I signed NDAs, which, are meaningless. But
Jesus.
So then you can say.
I kind of can. Maybe like A-list, like male artists, like whose last names rhyme with Layer, or someone who has a studio here in Nashville who has a new album, that kind of thing. And it just was really easy. Like I never wrote poetry. I had written a book, and my work had been around, talking to sexual assault survivors, or I used to just travel around talking to universities, and it took a lot out of me. Like my energy was always this frenetic times 10. And it was like, it was sort of re-injuring myself, and I was like, this is not really a way to make a living. So when I moved to California 8 years ago, I just sort of did like the whole stay-at-home mom thing, and I have a studio out back, and I like taught myself the keyboards and the guitar, and I just started just finding music people and a woman-owned studio and then all of a sudden I became a musician and a producer, and that's it. And I'm producing a movie,
Oh
and
God.
a series for Netflix. I'm directing a series for Netflix too. So I think I'm finally in my 50s figuring it out. And then I met Sean today at the behest of Angela. And
Nice.
life
And you got
got a
to
hold of it.
regenerate, get your brain settled.
It was so weird that you and I hadn't connected in so long. And the first thing you said was, "You've got to see Sean Gilder." And I was like, of course. And we met in the lobby of BMI, which is my publisher, which is hilarious. And I just found myself I was like staring at like the most handsome human on earth. It was like, but everything he was saying was something I needed to hear that no one else had ever. Do you know what I mean? Not to
Yes,
sound like weird and culty, you know what I'm saying.
I
You know,
do.
and you were absolutely right. You're so funny because you texted me. You're like, "Merry Christmas," and I
I
was
did.
like,
I did. Exactly. And then we were just talking about his Regenerate because since, I mean, I've known him for years now. And I, like you, my friend, have had complex PTSD. And
"Yes,
knowing him, my complex PTSD is gone. It's not in my
it's
life. I don't have it's gone.
like so different. Is your life like completely different?"
Yeah, you know what it is? It's instead of the overwhelm and the stress and the because I'm also the director. I wake up. I'm the first to set, last to leave,
Right.
working on 2 hours, 3 hours of sleep. I'm the first. I'm the one that
Same.
will drive the truck, also. And now my life is instead of all that, it's urgently calm.
Well, instead of being so reactive to everything,
Yeah,
like
no,
to be proactive and to choose. And also, I found that I was becoming extremely like codependent, like making sure everybody else was okay and not even noticing for any. And we all had the sayings. It's like put the oxygen mask on. I was listening to nothing, and yet I would tell my best friend exactly what you or Sean would say, and I was like the biggest hypocrite until about 2 hours ago, 3 hours ago. Don't you love like
Hey,
the brand new converted people who are like, we're so special. Oh my God, look at me.
hey, you know what the thing is? Whenever the more you make things digestible for others to hear, the more you teach, then the more it ingrains those same habits into you. So, helping y'all and other people, it's great. It's great for me too.
And the
So,
more the more your brain gets settled and you're in your parasympathetic
hmm
nervous system instead of your sympathetic, you're actually like you thinking more clearly. The more healthy I get, the more country I go. That is for sure.
Oh
And,
yeah.
and the more aware I become, the more you become aware of all of the programming and the propaganda. And then you become even more aware and you're like, oh shit.
Yeah. What was I
that is.
listening to? Like, why am I parroting this? Like, I'm doing a panel this weekend, and I'm like, why am I doing a political panel? Like, I mean, can you guys hear me?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it sounds a little bit choppy.
your voice is just a little bit choppy. It is hearable,
You
but
know what? I
and
don't
it
think.
did just start, but it's not.
Forget it. You know what? We're gonna not do this. Anywho,
The headphones didn't affect anything, but
eh,
it's a little bit choppy.
I couldn't hear you all that well. And I'm a big fan of Marshalls, but obviously since I just woke up. But yeah, you find yourself like, not questioning things that you should be questioning, or the opposite, or just saying yes to anything from like just saying yes all the time without any regard for who you are and what your time is and what your bandwidth is and your capacity to do something. Like if something's worth doing, it's worth doing really well in the way I see it. I mean, that doesn't mean I don't like to try things and screw them up, but I mean, I would find myself exhausted at the end of the day and think back on the day and be like, what exactly did I do? Like
Mm.
that truly exhausted me. Like really not much. It's a mental, emotional exhaustion, which is the parasympathetic. It's what we're trying to calm down. So anyway.
Well,
And
I think what Angela was saying before about the what was the word you used? A quick calm, or a quick. You can still do all the same things that you were doing. You can still be in a hurry, but you don't have to be in the parasympathetic, I'm sorry, in the sympathetic dominant state while you do everything that you do. You can find calm and choose to only be in a sympathetic dominant state, if a bear is chasing you. If something really crazy is
right.
going on. And other than that, it's, we were talking about the breath, fully in, fully out. Try to slow down your breath as much as possible, because when you do that, then you stay in the proper nervous system. Even just exhaling for as long as you possibly can calmly, that can reset you back into a parasympathetic dominant state. But then the other thing too is, and I recognize this, is when you're not accustomed to being in a parasympathetic dominant state, it feels weird. You know, you want to reach for a coffee or whatever to get out of that state, because it is a higher state of awareness and a higher state of feeling. So, and then we just lost Angela for a minute.
Just for a minute.
I'm guessing she'll be back, but yeah, I mean, you're super interesting. I feel like in our conversation earlier today, I just kind of touched the surface on so many interesting things. And then there's a handful of things that are not appropriate for a live podcast. Like you have to send me those names of the potential relatives. That is such a crazy thing. But
Not we did that we know. So we hope, you know.
I just lost your video, by the way.
Yeah, I can
And
see
now
the
we've
video.
got a
And
wicked echo.
So
if you can unclick whatever you click.
I know, right? We talked about that documentary about Anita Pallenberg, which I think was a perfect
Yeah.
example of people like.
But wait, hold on. You gotta unclick
I have to
because it's very bad, the audio. Okay. The audio is... Oh, no, it's not. Now you're muted, but your screen is also gone. And we got a black screen. I'll give her a minute. Let's see what happens.
Do you mean Angela or do you mean Liz?
Liz. Yeah, your audio got crazy and your screen is black. And I'm hearing myself back at me.
Is my screen still here? Let me just hit my settings again. Now you just see my finger, which is really exciting.
It's a black screen.
You know what? Let me go out and come back in.
Yeah, that'll work.
You know what? Let me do that. Let me leave and come back in.
Lost both Angela and Liz now. The one in Nashville.com, loot.life, those are my two products. Somebody's coming back in. Liz is coming back in. Yeah, we still got a major audio problem. It's like did you change how you're listening to me?
No, I should probably do it though from
Maybe put your headphones on.
I think when I started to I almost said the F word. I know you can, but whatever.
Oh no, you can say that.
Let me try it from something else. Let me leave
it
and do something else.
Okay. All right. Anyway, so those are the two websites. The one in Nashville, loot.life. Regenerate is really has been unbelievable. The feedback has been so crazy. One of the things that really blew my mind about it was the doubling of REM sleep for people that use smartwatches to track their sleep. It's been doubling their REM sleep, and not after the 10th dose, after the very first dose. So getting more REM sleep is can be an unbelievable thing for how you feel. And getting that GABA into your brain, which slows down the transmission of information from neuron to neuron, which, kind of sounds like, why do I want to slow down information? But the point is, we only have 2 hands, 2 feet, and 2 eyes. And you're out of time if you're moving too fast. I mean, you might be able to watch TikToks all day and stay in an overstimulated, hyper fast mode of moving your thumbs very fast, or how some people today will have two phones with two streams of information, one on TikTok, one on Instagram, and but you can't get things done at that speed. And then here we got Angela and Liz back. So those are the
What the hell?
what
I have
happened?
no idea. Can you hear me like a normal human?
Yeah, now I can see you and hear you perfectly.
Okay.
Oh my God, it's annoying. See, okay, this is a perfect example. Without Regenerate, if I hadn't been on Regenerate, this kind of stuff makes me nuts.
Right.
I know. Me
Right.
And
too.
now I'm like, I just was like, all right, well, the internet of the hotel wasn't working. I tried on my phone, so it's like, we just did it.
And
I
then you're
also,
back. And then Liz's connection went goofy too, and now we're back. Everybody's back, and it's all good.
hey, by the way, we joke about it, like the people that take Regenerate on, like always have it on in their shelf now, because now you use it, like if you have to set up your printer or something.
Right. Exactly.
Take a little Regenerate.
I
You'll
got-
be fine.
I read ornament hooks for the Christmas tree. Let me go get the Regenerate. I'll be right back. You know?
Exactly. Yay, Jean.
Yeah.
Hey, Jean. Jean's on here with us. She's
Merry
been
Christmas, right?
Merry Christmas.
Mhm.
So keep talking. Like, but back to, sorry about that, but it happens.
Yeah.
So where were we at? I can't even. We were talking about Liz. Were we?
Getting our brains on that.
now
Oh,
that
that's
I'm,
what.
now I'm
Okay.
doing like what I should always have been doing, like in my 50s. And I feel everyone's like, don't you regret not having done it in your 20s? And I'm like, no, I really don't care. Like, number is not a thing for me. So, I plan to live to be at least 110. I know that sounds crazy, but I think that you're meant to do what you're meant to do when you're meant to do it and when you're ready. And obviously, I had subjugated and made choices and, whatever. It's like, it's no big deal, Jude. It's like, you do what you have to do. And I'm happy now. And that's really all that matters.
Amen.
And plus, I don't think we're designed to just do one thing our whole lives. I think we're
No.
designed to do things in 7-year cycles. So, who knows how long you'll be doing the songwriting and the filmmaking, or you might find something else that you love to do.
Well, yeah.
And that's just kind of how
Is
we're
that-
meant to be. We're not meant to work for a company for 50 years,
No.
doing the same thing.
No.
That sounds incredibly boring. So
At 7 years, your cells regenerate, right? Aren't you a totally new
that-
person?
Yeah, I always say the 7 years, but I wanted to ask Sean if that was true.
yeah, it's there's different cells have different turnover rates. The slowest is your bones, and every bone cell is new after 7 years. So we're really only 7 years old at any given time, and our health is how we've treated ourselves for the last 7 years.
Amen.
Amen.
Brendan just got on here and he says, Brother Sean, Kia ora. I don't know what that means. Maybe you do.
I don't know. Maybe Brendan can
All
tell
of-
us.
I thought of Rita Ora, and I was like, wait, what? Is Rita Ora driving a Kia? Brenton, tell us what you mean about Kia Ora. It's obviously reading in another language.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm so glad to see that you've met him and that you're in Nashville. You got your hands on some Regenerate, right? I hope.
Oh, did you see me? Hold on.
And also, did you get some loot, woman?
I am like,
Just regen.
I'm like,
Girl, you better get that loot.
beforehand, I'm like, you need to bring me. Hello.
Yeah. I'm telling you, like I'm telling you,
I
like I'm
fell
telling
asleep
you.
without paying him. Like, I have to do that right now.
I'm telling
Oh,
you.
wait till after the podcast. But yeah, and then also 1 hour before bed, that's a great time to experiment, with your first low dose, because the GABA will get you more REM sleep. So you should wake up tomorrow more well rested.
It
Maybe have more dreams too.
sleeping through the night. It was so funny.
You have problems sleeping through the night?
All the time.
Oh,
Give
now
it a
you.
go because it should help you. It should help you get into more REM sleep. And REM sleep is the toughest one to get. And if you don't go through all the sleep cycles, that's when you're waking up. So it'll enhance that sleep cycle. And you're supposed to go through 2 rounds of all the sleep cycles.
Right.
But if, maybe you're not, maybe you're having difficulty getting into REM and then you're just waking up instead of going back through the next round.
Right.
So an hour before bed is a perfect time. And like I said, I think I said it already, but um, people that are tracking stuff with their smartwatches, it's doubling their REM sleep. Oh, I said that when y'all were on hiatus for a little bit. I was talking about the things that Regenerate does. Mhm.
Brendan says that Kia Ora is a more. Tell me how to pronounce this. Maori greeting. Maori.
Maori.
Maori. My ancestors. It means be well, all of you.
Oh, thank you.
That's
Nice.
love.
Kia
Thank-
Ora.
Yeah,
I love that. Kia Ora.
yeah.
I love that.
So
Another thing. Oh,
no,
I'm
go
just
ahead,
gonna-
Angela.
I was going to talk about Regenerate for a second.
Go
If
ahead.
you also before the second time, I'm telling you right now, I'm telling you like I'm telling you. And also, you can shoot it, like you could, put it in water, and
Yeah,
shoot it.
don't shoot it. You
But
can
not-
put it in water and shoot
It's
it.
freezing.
Yes.
What are we talking about? Oh my God. No.
But what I do is put it in one of the, those sippy cups that all the ladies that all look the same. They look like pears. They're
The big
drinking
cups? You mean like
the
the
cups with the straw.
Henley cups? The
Those
big-
cups with the straw that they drink soda in. If you will put like a fever tree or like a ginger, like a healthy soda that's got carbonation in it, and put a Regenerate. I put 2 so I put 2 teaspoons. It will froth up and give this taste, and it makes it like a beer.
Wow.
And then
Yeah.
I sip it, so then I get that heat like for like I'll just sip it, so I'll keep the heat all day. It's like a sour beer. It's great. And if
Yeah.
you want to take it next level, you put a little like cherry juice in there, and I muddle like basil. I make all these drinks with this stuff.
Yeah.
I really have to get your recipes for that and put them on the website for people.
Oh yeah,
Because-
like tart cherry juice and muddling herbs. She's like a mad scientist here.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah, and I have I'm gonna do a whole season 3 cooking show on you, and also beef. All the stuff you've taught me, like the meat and the liver and the organ meat. I feel incredible, and I look better naked than in my 50s than I did in my 20s. So it's
And
the
we
proof
and,
in the
and Liz and
picture.
I, we didn't even get to any diet stuff on our chat. But the one thing I'll just say is that the hardest thing to get is 30% of your calories from fat. And most people overlook fat, and all your hormones are made from fat. So low in fat means low in hormones.
And I think that you and I know a lot of survivors, like sexual assault survivors, and they tend to be living in complex PTSD, living with their brains that are not settled at all. I was born in my sympathetic nervous system. I was born 4 pounds, 4 ounces, given 50% chance of living. So it's like I came in like in stress.
Way.
So it's like when you settle in, and I've noticed that helps a tremendous amount. And the survivors I also know who are in complex PTSD, they're not thinking right. And then your relationships are messed up, and you keep marrying your dad.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like, and all of it is affected when you get your brain settled. It's been, I mean, I really am like a living testimony to this. Really true. And I'm telling you, use it because if you're in your 50s, I know for a fact you got a lot of young fellas after you.
Well, that's for sure. But they're the wrong. Don't date musicians. No, I shouldn't say that. No, that's something John and I were talking about today, and like the stupidity of not taking a woman's advice when it comes to commerce. It's like, okay, don't do Coachella for X million. See if I care. Like, I'm so bugged by that.
Yeah, I'm available. I'm just
Younger men?
No, he's not younger, but I mean, I think there's a certain amount of arrested development that comes with being a quote unquote rock star, even if you were like a one-hit wonder from the 90s and you married an A-list celebrity. We're not going to use names here. I mean, we could, but whatever. And so you had a big giant hit in the 90s, and you married an A-lister who is a lovely human being. That went to shit. And then all the royalties, the music industry is built very differently now. But they were getting back together, and I heard part of the album, and it was beautiful. And I talked to some people at Golden Voice at AEG, and they're like, we totally want them for Coachella. And they named a price, and the price was lovely. So I was in a meeting last night with an attorney and a trial lawyer. I was in the lobby of the hotel talking about, legislation for the Tennessee House as far as sexual assault survivors and the ability to open a window. And I'd gotten this message, and I said, excuse me. And I walked away, and I just texted it like very briefly. And I got one of the, I don't like to deal with machines when I'm in my creative process. And I'm like, okay, all right, 45-minute set, you and your 4.2 million can buy whatever time machine you want to,
I'm
ignore me.
I'm just saying $4.2 million text.
Yeah,
I would break my creative flow for that.
right. It would seem common sense, right? I think I
Yeah.
understand some people are built differently, but if I'm this guy's manager, who I should have texted, I'd be like, guys, do we want to do this in April? Resounding yes. 45 minutes in the heat. Like, let's just do this and re-announce our, because they were a beloved band and people would be so happy. It's not like Oasis, but, it's not Oasis anyway. But
Yeah.
so,
I
Wonderwall.
I feel like I want to blurt out the band, but I won't. I'll let you do it.
I don't care. You can say it. Because people, look, you know what people are going to say? Oh my God, I love Space Hog.
Yeah. Yeah, they had that. I mean, I don't know if I love Space Hog, but I remember that one song was fresh when it came out. Yeah, in the meantime. Yeah, that was
Everybody that song.
some songs just got it. That everything
ear
is
term
just
forever.
it is it. Yeah.
And I think people are really reminded by it because James Gunn used it. It was like a slowed down London Symphony version of it for Guardians of the Galaxy 3 trailer. If you watch strings, and it's Royston's voice over the strings, it's beautiful. And I think that's why they decided to get the band back together, because so many people went nuts, especially like Gen X. Gen X was like, holy balls, Space Hog. So anyway, we were talking about that today. That's what you get when you talk about music. And I have no affiliation with them. I don't, nothing, man. I'm happy they're back together, man. But like, do the Coachella. Like, it's 45 minutes.
For $4 million.
Exactly.
Jesus.
It's a deal.
Yeah.
I love that.
That's a deal.
I don't like Coachella though. God.
Ugh. Went with my 15-year-old and 3 of his friends. I went with me. It was me and 3 15-year-olds. And I had just come off the car accident. And I rented this like massive house. And if you bring cash, there's these rickshaws, because it's like 3 miles to the gate of the Empire Polo. You can rickshaw all the way. And then I had like my boot on, and I was fine. I walked all over. I spent 8 hours at Coachella all 3 days, and I was fine on a broken ankle. I mean,
I went and saw
pedicabs.
I got to see The Cure. That was awesome.
Oh my God, that is awesome. How'd they sound?
Amazing. But although, I mean, is the sound really amazing there?
I've been to Glastonbury.
I like Grassroots. That's my favorite.
Yeah. Where do you like to go, Sean, as far as music is concerned? Are you a small club guy? Are you a festival guy?
Much prefer the small clubs. There's so many small clubs in Nashville. I feel like once you consume it in a small club, you go to a big arena or something outdoors, it's not, the intimacy is gone.
Yeah.
So it's got to be somebody really big that I've been dying to see, or a lineup that's huge. I think the last festival I went to was Lollapalooza.
my God.
Um, Florence and the Machine headlined it and sang
Ooh,
under a lightning storm. That
nice.
was pretty cool.
That's cool.
And then there was a bunch of other big guys there. I'm trying to
That's cool.
remember. It was a few years back. I haven't been to a festival in a while. But Nashville provides the music. I mean, any night of the week, the list of people that come through here is crazy. And as a local, you can pick that up anytime that you want. I mean, I've seen everybody.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, Jack White in his tiny blue room, which is like 100 people standing room only. All the walls are curved, so it does something to the sound. Guitar just sounds so clean in that room,
He's
probably
That's
because a guitarist created it.
he's also
Um,
he's one of the top 3 of living American guitarists easily.
yeah, yeah. Him. I don't know how Jimmy still plays, but just the fact that he's alive, he's got to be on there.
But he's British, so
Oh yeah, not American. Yeah.
yeah. All right, but yeah, no, he's got to be out. John Mayer, like say what you will, guitar
Mm.
wise,
Yeah.
supreme.
Little soft voice, but
Yeah,
big guitar.
yeah,
And then well, then we lost Prince. I think
yeah.
Prince is the best guitarist other than Hendrix that I've ever heard. It's
Exactly.
Hendrix, Prince,
Yep.
then probably
Hey,
Jimmy,
Jack White.
and then Jack. I would say Jack, and with the Raconteurs, what a band with
Oh,
the
what a band. I love the Raconteurs.
dueling guitars, dueling singers.
Yeah, I like.
love it.
I think it all. Also, it's so weird. I was like, I couldn't sleep last night. I watched that Phil Spector documentary. That was not healthy. Woo. Not really knowing about the Wall of Sound, but the Wall of Sound meant like I don't know if you consider like the Eagles, the album. It's like that 4 guitars at once, as
Hmm
well as at least 2 drum kits. Like the Wall of Sound. I mean, the man was a genius, but okay. But it was
Yeah.
like his face. Like I did not need to go to sleep with that face. And
Yeah, that's
that,
he's with the hair. His
yeah,
hair is
it
loco.
was. I remember the trial, like the different hair, the different wigs every day. I was like, whose idea was this? Because this is really entertaining. I mean,
Yeah.
I feel bad for like Lana Clarkson's family that's what we're focusing on because Lana was this beautiful woman and working that room at the House of Blues is a really prestigious job. And
Mm.
she had a great career as this, B-list science fiction actress. She was a working actress, like killing it. So beautiful. And I'm
Mm.
thinking about Phil Spector's wigs. It's just like so,
Maybe that was the plan.
that was that's why I had to.
Look at the wigs.
Phil Spector wigged me out, and Angela's like, "Get yourself to Sean right now."
Yeah. Speaking of music producers, if y'all or the listeners don't listen to Tetragrammaton, which is Rick Rubin's, that podcast is wonderful. There's
I
so much information in that. It's nutrient dense and it's health, wellness, production, nervous system control. Rick Rubin is on it all. He's on the red light therapy. I mean,
Ooh.
he's
reminds me
Tetragrammaton.
literally when Angela sent me your picture. I said, "Oh, it's like young Rick Rubin," because I see
Oh
Rick.
yeah.
Yeah, you're Rick Rubin. I
Oh,
mean,
that's funny.
yeah.
Yeah. I could deal with his career if I had
He's
his career.
Jesus. You got to I really recommend while you're in Nashville is to go on Sean's bike ride.
I
It's
know,
the best. It's
but
the
now
best.
with a broken ankle, I don't know if I can. And
Yeah.
Sean said, "Sure you can. If you tape it up, you'll be fine." Because like I was physically not fit before. That's the only reason I like lived. Like I could do. I mean, if I don't try it, I might make it like 1 mile or 100 feet, but I should go.
I think
I'll,
if you can say that again.
I'll be back in 2 weeks.
Yeah, or then I think if you can make it through however many days in Coachella, you can
Right.
pilot an e-bike around
The
Nashville
e-bike, yeah.
because it's
so
electric. It's not like
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
you don't
it's
have to
not.
pedal even. You could go
Yeah,
late
yeah.
gas
You
out in it if
can
you
you
want.
can pretend to pedal.
It's just the best way to see Nashville. The way he
Mhm.
does it, it's so funny. He's got that dry sense of humor that everything out of his mouth is freaking hilarious. But you were like, was he being serious right now?
It's so fun when people are trying to figure out if I'm joking or if I'm being serious. It's
It's
so
like
funny.
here we are at Belmont, the all girls college, back when there were genders.
Yeah. Yeah, all women's nursing school back when there used to be genders. And yeah, I've said that.
Like
Yeah,
silence and like slight like tittering in the back,
Really.
like you for what is
And then
it?
you're like, that's funny.
I've been doing this thing for I don't know 3 years.
It's so
3 years
good.
now, and it's really amazing how culture has changed in that time. You know, one of the things that I almost always ask my riders is, "What do you think? Did we put a man on the moon?" Just because I want to know who I'm dealing with. You say
I like
no? Are you
when he
saying
said,
no?
No, I started singing the REM song in my head. I'm sorry.
Oh, man on
"Oh
the
yeah,
moon.
If you believe they put
Yeah,
on the moon, and then I started thinking about Andy Kaufman, and then that's where my brain went. I'm sorry.
yeah.
he tries
That
that
makes sense.
the
That does make
Scientology
sense for your
center.
brain to go. Yeah,
He drives
well,
that Scientology center. It's really
but
funny.
but here's the funny thing is that it used to be like a rarity that somebody would be like, we didn't go. And I'd be like, "Oh, tell me
Right.
more."
Yeah.
And it's gone up exponentially.
Yeah.
I
What
mean,
it?
I was on a ride where it was like 80% of the people said, "Nah, I don't think we went to the moon." And I
What?
was like, "Whoa, times they are a changing.
People are becoming like, what
People
the?
are waking up in a hurry thanks to X, and
Yeah.
it's really wild." Yeah, I mean, but yeah, we picked up a red phone and the president talked to somebody on the moon.
It does
Okay,
sound really funny when you say
Who
right.
shot the video? Who
Who
was on?
shot the video of
who
the
shot the video,
spacecraft leaving?
right?
And then did we leave, come back, grab the film, and then leave
Right.
again just for the shot? I mean, y'all are filmmakers to get that shot. I mean,
Right.
maybe. But last I heard, it's really far away, and you need to save all of your rocket fuel to have a hope of making it back.
To make it back.
So
Right.
who was on the moon panning the camera as the spacecraft left? Hello? Oh,
Right.
Stanley Kubrick, that's who it was.
Absolutely. Absolutely Stanley Kubrick. Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Also did Eyes Wide Shut, right?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Do you remember when the buildup of that? And then we all realized, oh my God, Tom and Nicole really have no chemistry. None.
Well, I saw that movie and I was like, oh look, that's what they do, except it's with kids.
And
Hmm.
and Sidney Pollock's there. Okay. I'll talk to him. I'll go over there and
Yeah,
like have a glass of champagne with Sidney Pollock, who looks. And then there was like a dead hooker in the bathroom or something, and like Tom Cruise goes to tend to her. I'm like, she's dead. What are you gonna do? Like what? And then everyone's wearing a mask, and then Fidelio. I'm like, what's happening? What's happening?
they're showing you what's happening. It's just that those are with
I
kids.
know. But I don't get invited to those parties, and I get invited to cool parties, but I don't get invited to Fidelio parties where the gold mask guy, like, bangs his staff and makes me do things. So I don't know.
I don't know who.
God, I just can't even.
I know. I
So
can't.
gross. I was friends with some agent assistants. I'm always friends with the little guys, and
They're the
so
best guys, though.
oh, always. And so I'm in the penthouse, and I'm all the way down. I'm also in the porta potty. You know what I mean? So
Right,
it's like
right.
everybody, prison to the playground.
That's
So-
the way.
And I got to witness so much because I would go visit my friends, and I'd visit, and I'm at 007. There's a reason my social is Angela Shelton 007 because I sneak in shit and I sneak
Yeah,
out.
people don't notice me either. I just like slide. People don't even know I'm there. It's so
And I
rude.
just slide in there, and I would sit on the floor and wait for them to like be done so we go to lunch or something. So I'm sitting on the floor. Nobody knows I'm there. I'm underneath the desk. I'm back. That was back in the day. I was writing a book on a Word. It
Right.
was like computers. We had those
It's like a
little
word processor.
Yeah, word processor. Yeah. And so I'm like writing a book on a word processor underneath the desk. Holy guacamole, what I witnessed with agents. Holy.
Give us a little taste.
Yeah, you
Oh,
can't say that and then
You
not
can't
give a
just
little
leave that
story.
out.
They will come out of their offices and they treat their assistants with like the worst. You goddamn fucking monkey. I told you the motherfucking cunt. Like it's like
Oh yeah,
it's like
that movie,
sexist,
Swimming
rape.
with Sharks.
It's literally that movie, Swimming with
that
Sharks.
movie.
Yeah. And they treat their assistants like talk about sexism, racism, just evil, just
And
straight
no one
up
does a
evil.
thing about it's
Nobody
absolutely
does
100% accepted.
anything, and these are the same people who are putting out the PC rules
Yeah,
of how everybody else has to act.
about
And
everybody else has to act right.
you are the biggest pieces of shit I've ever witnessed in my life.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy cow. I'm like, I just can't even believe it. I was like, and what blew my mind is these are the PC people. These are the ones that are like lecturing everybody else on how they should be. And they were the worst humans I've ever witnessed in my life.
Well, like Ari Gold, is based on Ari Emanuel when he was over at that. But also, like in Swimming with Sharks,
His
Kevin
research,
Spacey
his
is the
connection.
evil guy.
Yeah.
And Frank Welly turns it on, which is so beautiful. It's a delicious film, a little indie film if people haven't seen it. Swimming with
It's really
Sharks.
good. It's true. So
It's
true.
great.
And then that Emmanuel guy, his brother is Rahm Emanuel,
Right.
who is Obama's right-hand man,
Yep.
Right.
Then
and
you
came
just
through the Chicago political
thing.
machine.
All Chicago.
So the connection, it's all connected, and once you start absorbing those connections, it's truly shocking.
and witnessing just a piece of shit. It's like why even listen to any of these humans at all? Like all of our media is coming from LA and New York, and those people have only ever been to LA and New York. They don't know America at all, not even
Not
a
at
little
all.
bit.
Some of the things that you'll hear from a New Yorker, or even like a serious Chicago city person, the fear of being out in the country and thinking it's very dangerous, and it's like, no,
I'm gonna
it's-
get murdered in Wisconsin.
Well, it's
like,
dangerous if you act like they do.
yeah,
could be,
exactly.
yeah.
That's true, because it's like
Yeah.
try that in a small town is true. Like you
Yeah.
try that speaking to people like that, and in a small town, you ain't gonna. It's not gonna work out for you.
No.
I mean, I think people are kind. I think it is on the menu to get knocked out, yes, but that's not guaranteed to happen. But yes, I
No,
understand
but
what you're
it's just
saying.
they're not. They're not
Right.
going to put up with that. And then when my movies were showing, like I was showing The Hammer, my gorgeous boxing movie that I really
Yep.
recommend to see. But you have to search for it, The Hammer Jackson Rathbone. You can't use my name because I've been like shadow banned and shit. So you have to
Oh,
look up
wait. How do I search? You have to search for The Hammer, but you can't search Angela Shelton.
Yeah,
So
just The Hammer
It's
Jackson.
not a boxing movie. It's not about boxing.
So
You
I
would
was
think it is if you look at, but it's not about boxing.
not a boxing
Right.
movie. It's
Right.
about everything I do is I'm a trickster. It's my golf
Yes.
costume will make you cry. So it's not a
you
comedy.
are our very own Puck in a Bond girl's body. That's what you are.
Oh, damn. So I'm doing this screening of my boxing movie that's not really a boxing movie. And and I'm with an assistant in the screening room. And he's putting the the film in, setting up the screening. And I was like, hey, oh gosh, so you're an agent assistant. Like, what's your plan in this world? Where are you going? Like, what's your plan?
Yeah, what's your
And he
plan?
literally says, he's like, oh, I want to become an agent so that I can torture my assistant like I was tortured.
Mhm.
That's the life goal.
That's literally what I was like, oh, so that's your goal?
Wow.
That's what you want to do?
Right, abusers abuse, or the abused
Wow.
become the abusers in every realm. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
Not-
you look at Skull and Bones and some of the, where the majority of presidents come through and the
Yeah.
things that they have to do. It's the
poor-
same culture. It's a disgusting
All
culture.
those clubs. Yeah.
It's so gross.
Disgusting
I'm so
culture.
happy to have left LA and the industry. I love it. I love having left because I
Don't say that. Ah.
absolutely love it. I just I pulled the plug. I am 100% independent. Even my next movies, I'm like, fuck you, SAG. Sit on it. Sit on it.
Everybody publishes now, if you do it right on,
I just
Right.
literally, I'm like,
and then,
But I have to go in like 9 minutes, by the way.
yeah, I'm sleepy too. But hey, Liz, whenever you're back, so you're going to regenerate for the next couple weeks.
Right.
So
I'm
whenever
gonna-
you're back, we need to,
So I'm
say-
going to give a progress report.
yeah, give me progress reports, and then let's do this.
then-
Join like after 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Join another one of these with Angela and myself.
It,
And then
it
we can-
removes the need to need it removes the need to need something.
Yeah.
Well, exactly. And I forgot to tell, I was in a massive car accident. I almost died like a year ago. So, like, obviously, I was on every med known to man. So that's why. And you didn't even know that. And that's why it was so weird. You had led me, they had just prescribed like all these benzos for me 2 weeks ago. They're like, oh, this will help you sleep.
Oh
So-
God, girl. Oh God, I'm so glad you met Jesus. Jesus.
Right?
Yes.
Rick
Soft
Rubin,
J.
Jesus,
Soft
Sean.
J.
No.
I mean, look at him. And I'm a big Jesus lover, and I also love to say Jesus saved my life because
Well,
it's
exactly.
fun. But I will recommend, if you haven't gotten his Lute, Lute, it's this
Yes.
liquid hemp that he makes.
Yeah.
If you do, but just FYI, if you're gonna have the girly fun time with another man, with a man, if you do it together, like if you do Lute and Regenerate together, you just call me and you're like, I love you, Angela.
I want to say it wasn't designed.
Merry Christmas.
I got to say it wasn't designed for that, but
I discovered so many things.
I mean, blood
Off-label-
flow boosters, vasodilators together. I mean, it makes sense.
Well, we
It's
talked
fun.
about I was totally down with that. I was like,
And then if you would, and then I have like I have many things people could do with your products. The best is like do a massage. I'll just throw this out there because y'all should do it. If you do a full body massage, like if you cover your whole, once you're healed and you can move your body, like
Yeah.
if you cover your whole body with coconut oil, like
Right.
the whole body,
Yeah.
and then the goal is to have every part of your body touch every part of his body. Meaning, like we're talking face everywhere, and face everywhere. We're talking elbows, like, and then you follow Perry Nichols' Stop Chasing Pain lymph node healer, like lymph node massage.
right.
Follow that, but follow it naked with the coconut oil and do that massage on Regenerate and Lute, and you're gonna call me and you go, I love Angela Shelton.
I haven't tried that, but it sounds like a
Okay.
party. I'll try that.
That's a party.
Yeah.
That's a 3 to 7 hour party, and you're in love after.
We can't do it on the podcast, but we can certainly discuss the results.
Not on any of these platforms.
Not on any of these
I
platforms.
can show y'all.
We're
And
just
also,
inform the people, though. We're trying to inform the
I'm
people. And
helping the people
That was-
because
extraordinarily detailed, and I took down every
It was. I would just remember coconut oil and elbows.
yes, elbows, face sitting, all
and
of
then
it.
for like 7 hours, and then once again thought about Sting. Like, why?
Dang.
Because it's tantric sex. Yeah, it is.
Oh,
It is.
yeah,
Is that
yeah.
even true? Like,
Yeah.
Trudy, you need to know Trudy. Come on.
God bless her. She's lucky. Tantric is the best.
I mean,
But
her
that's
skin looks great.
What's great?
Trudy's
skin?
skin looks amazing. So something's going on there.
and also my main audience are the women are survivors of something. Somebody got diddled somebody somewhere, right?
Right.
And they've got it all locked in their body. And if you do that massage with Regenerate, so you're healing your brain, you got the Lute, so you just relax, and then you do this like massage that, like basically you're stepping into you're getting back in your body and taking your body back on his body. It's a great exercise to like take your body back because a lot of women will cut themselves off from the waist down.
And just so people know, she's talking about Perry Nicholson, Stop Chasing Pain, and
Yes.
the Big Six. You don't have to have a partner doused in coconut oil to do this. You can do it yourself. It's 6
So
points. It's above and below your collarbone.
Right.
It's both shoulders, both neck, just below the ear where your biggest lymph nodes are,
Right.
both groins, both
Right.
back of your knees, and then your stomach. And what that does is that can dislodge blocks in your lymphatic drainage system. The first 10 times you do it, you're going to be like, this feels stupid. Why am I doing this? But then you're going to do it one time and you're going to be like,
And now I'm sore.
okay. You're going to be like, all right, something moved, something
Yeah.
feels better. And now
Yeah.
I'm going to do this every day. So I just tell people that are starting to do it, like the first 10 times I did it, I was like, this is silly. I don't feel anything. What's the point? But then something clicks and then you're like, okay, I feel that I want to keep doing that. It's Perry Nicholson's Big Six. Coconut oil elbow is optional. You can do it yourself. With
But
your,
if you're
your
on
own.
top and you do this on top on the thing, and then you're welcome, y'all. You're welcome. Call me.
No, I mean, if someone else does your lymphatic massage, it certainly feels better.
It
I
really,
will-
it
yeah,
does.
yeah.
Great when
and-
you charge money for it.
well, that's a whole different thing.
I mean, sex
I
work.
do that, but only I have to know you. That I do offer that because I'm
Yeah.
yeah.
You know, it's great.
Should I turn off the YouTube?
Shall we let
But you know
them
what? Like this
drip
is
down, get doused in coconut oil? Have we gotten them worked into a little bit of
Listen.
a,
I haven't done this coconut oil thing ever, but I'll say that you can use MCT oil so you don't have to wait for it to melt,
that's right.
because it's
oh
MCT
like-
oil. 66% of coconut oil is carbonate and carbon 10 fats, which don't solidify. So if you get MCT oil, it's like pre-melted coconut oil if you're in a hurry.
Right.
So try
I wasn't
MCT.
in a hurry.
If you're in a hurry.
And you can't wait for the coconut oil to melt. That just might
Definitely
you
wasn't in a
could put it
hurry.
in a pumper bottle or something. You're welcome.
Yeah, exactly. But you're welcome, y'all.
MCT oil.
I think we should rename this podcast like "You're Welcome" with Sean.
You're welcome.
Okay.
You're
Yeah.
welcome.
You know,
This is
True
why I-
Thursdays,
Yeah.
parentheses, you're welcome.
yeah.
this is
Parentheses.
why
You're
there's a sticker.
we'll
I
eat
love Angela Shelton.
table with a "You're welcome" like
Yeah.
tip.
I gotta jump on. I gotta be somewhere at 7.
Yeah, I gotta run too. But Liz,
love you.
let's let me know when you're back in town.
Exactly.
Let's do a follow up just to see where you're at and regenerate yourself over these next few weeks.
I'm so glad I woke
I'm
up
really,
with my face on my
really excited.
Sean going, "We're on if you want to talk." I'm like, a
No, you look great. You got the lighting sorted out too.
little bit.
Yeah, yeah, you
I've
found the
very
light.
wainscoting.
It's
feeling.
perfect that you're laying there too, hearing what I
Well, obviously.
You're welcome.
I wanna give the people what they want. No, I'm joking. Oh my god.
love Well, I'm sorry to jump off of this great call, but I'm
Yeah, I gotta run. I gotta
Alright.
run too. But let's
And that's
we'll do this in 2 or 3 weeks.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Bye, guys. Mwah.
hug, elbows,
I don't know.
Elba, MCT. God,
chin,
Love
your
it.
chin. Yeah.
Okay,
That's what-
elbows and chin.
MCT.